How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So this was brought to my attention. It's pretty crazy. CGC is changing some of its rules. And so I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we'll talk about and discuss what's going on. So just to give you the lowdown what's going on, this was posted today. Because, this is what they're saying, because CGC members have now free access to grader notes, not as many defects will be listed on the label. Based on feedback from prominent members of the collecting community, CGC is implementing a change that will reduce the number of defects that are identified on the comic label. Meaning right in here, see where it says Planet Comic Books Fiction House 1953, normally says something right there if there's a defect. So traditionally, certain defects listed on the label were present on the certified comic book, which were also recorded in the grader notes. Because CGC members now have free access to grader notes, this is a redundancy is being eliminated from the label for the presence of the following defects. So normally, right in the middle there, it will say, if there's a sticker, it'll say sticker, Siamese pages, which is sometimes when a page, a comic book is made, they have a slicer that'll cut the pages. Sometimes they don't cut the pages correctly. So you could actually have two pages, like if this is the page and it opens like this, it might be connected at the top still. Very weird, but it happens. Punch holes, when kids like 3-ring binder it. Staples added after manufacturing, staples removed. Detachments like centerfold, top staples, stuff like that, detached. Fully split spines, tape, significant missing parts from the cover, lamination, miscuts, puzzles, and coupons filled out. I'll talk about this in a second. Let me just finish this article. CGC will continue to identify on the label any significant missing pieces, pages, wraps, or inserts from the interior of the comic. So they'll continue labeling this stuff. Each comic book's grade will reflect all missing parts, and those missing parts will be recorded in the grader notes. So we'll continue to identify the significant pages, wraps, interesting. I read that wrong. CGC will continue to identify on the label any significant missing pieces, pages, wraps, inserts, or Each comic book will reflect all missing parts, blah, blah, blah. CGC will discontinue the use, CGC will discontinue the use of the term incomplete on its labels, as well as the terms affect story, does not affect story, when parts are missing from the interior of the comic book. So sometimes you might get like a coupon cutout or a panel cutout, and they'll label that on the label. The CGC label will continue to display restoration, conservation qualifiers as we have in the past, including married parts, color copies, wrong parts, coverless comics, include individual wraps and pages, multiple covers, additional inserts, unverified signatures on the cover. All right, so let's unpack all that. So let's just go up here. Stickers. Honestly, they don't need to put something on the label saying there's a sticker. Most of the time you can see it with your eyes. If it's something you can see with your eyes, I'm not really concerned. Like, I don't know why they need to put a sticker on there. Now, if there's a sticker on the inside cover, that doesn't even need to be on the label. Like, if there's a sticker like on page 6, that doesn't need to be on the label. No. It's in the grader notes fine. Siamese pages, that doesn't need to be on the label. I don't think that really matters that much. It's not really that big of a deal. So if it's in the notes, fine. Punch holes, you can see that. I hope you can see that. They're big holes that go through the entire book, and they're usually on the spine for the most part. So that's fine. Staples added after manufacturing. I don't even care about that. To be honest, usually you can see it's someone that they either don't have staples or something like that, and they just staple close their book. It's usually done like a million years ago. You can see those generally, not that big of a deal. If there are extra staples inside the book and you can't see it, even that to me is not too big of a deal, to be honest. Staples removed. Now, this is where I have a problem. So the thing is, with CGC books, and it's very hard, is the staples are on the spine. I don't know if you can see this. They're on the spine. And so when you're trying to look through this thing right here, it's impossible. Like, can you see through this? No, you can't. You can never see the spine. I'm always trying to hold it up in different things to see it, especially like on an older book, you're trying to see what's going on. So it's really hard to see the spine, especially if you're buying this book online. You're just going to have a front and back picture. You're not going to have a picture of the spine. Even if you wanted to, it wouldn't show up very well. So that to me is kind of an issue because that's kind of hard to see. It's not easy to see just straight up looking at a picture online. Next, we got detachments. Cover detached, same thing. You can't see it. Centerfold detached. There's no way you're going to know if the centerfold's detached. Fully split spine. Can't tell that either. It's really hard to tell spine splits. Tape. Tape you can see. That's pretty obvious. Even if the tape was on the spine, it usually overlaps. That doesn't really bug me that much. Significant missing parts from the cover. Clearly, if a corner is missing that's like this big, you can see it. So lamination. I don't think that needs to be on the label because it is pretty easy to tell when a book is laminated. So I don't consider that, but miscuts, not a big deal. Puzzles or coupons filled out. Even that doesn't need to be on the label. Like, to me, it's not that big of a deal. If it's a puzzle or coupon on the back, you can see it clearly. If it's on the inside page, to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's more of these other things that are kind of a big deal. Also, CGC discontinuing the term incomplete on its label. Let's see, CGC will continue to identify on the label any significant missing pieces, pages, wraps, or inserts from the comic. So here's the big question. This is my main concern. They will continue to identify on the label missing pages or wraps. Okay, that's fine. So if you get a book in, let's say I have one pulled up. Right here. See this Spider-Man or Fantasy 15? See how it says up here, 2 center wraps missing, effect story incomplete. All right, so I'm guessing by what they're saying is you will still get the saying will say 2 center wraps missing, but it won't say effect story and it won't say incomplete. Now, that to me is fine because obviously if it's missing 2 center wraps, it is incomplete. So you really don't need 2 things saying the same thing on the label, right? So you don't need that. Effect story. That to me, I'm not sure because on one hand, it could be an ad page, and on the other hand, it could be, a story page, and that's a big difference. So I don't know how I feel about that one because it does say missing 2 center wraps, or it might say missing 1 page or whatever it is. So I don't know how I feel about that at the moment. Let me know how you guys feel about that. All right. But here's the thing. CGC will continue to identify any significant missing pieces. Does that mean coupons cut out? I don't know. Because here we go. Let's take it this one right here. All right. We got a Fantasy 15. It is a 1.0, as you can see. A 1.0. It looks pretty tattered or whatever. Let's say you were buying this online. And you see it's a 1.0. But it doesn't say does not affect story, not incomplete. It doesn't say that anymore. Is it still going to say coupon cutout of last page? Because now that is incomplete. And that's probably why this book got a 1.0. And so you might buy it thinking, oh, this is pretty nice. I'm going to crack it out. And then, boop. Oh, there's a coupon cutout. That's lame. I wish I would have said that. Because they already established that they've been saying that since the beginning. And now people are like, oh, well, they give out free grader notes. They're not free. They're not free. So here we are. This is a month ago. They started doing a new tier service. Now, for all you guys that don't know, CGC was bought out by BlackRock. And BlackRock is a massive, massive Wall Street fund worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. They're the ones that are buying up single-family homes and trying to turn the nation into a nation of renters. So that's why home prices are more expensive because they're buying them up. So anyways, the free tier. So anyone can have this. You get online access to the resources. Whoa, what do you do? So if you want the grader notes, which is free grader notes. Oh yeah, they're free. You have to pay $25. Now is this $25 a month or a year? I honestly don't remember. I think it's a year. Let's see. I want to get this. No longer exists. Oh boy, yay. I want to say it's. Let's see if I can join somewhere. Let's sign out here. Let's join. Is it a choose paidly year? Okay, it's year. Okay, year. That's what I kind of thought. All right. So anyways, you got this for a year. You got on full submission privileges. Yay. You know, back in the day, CGC was only for dealers, so you had to actually know someone to send your books to them. That was interesting. We had to get like a dealer's license and get like a tax ID number and everything just to use them. So in the very beginning, we didn't use them because we didn't have that stuff. You get free grader notes, voucher kit, 10% off the store. Yippee. So free grader notes are not free because you have to pay $25 a year. Now that's not that much, but still, some people it's not really worth it. Like, why would I pay that to get their notes? So it's not free. So it's not a redundancy. And it's like based on feedback by prominent members of the community. No, they're bored. I'm sure it was like, how can we make more money? Well, we have to give out these free grader notes. Well, what if we only made it free to the people that paid? That would get more people to sign up. We would make more money. That's pretty much how the conversation went. No one was asking for this in the community. Who was asking this? Like, some of these are not really worth it because you can literally see punched holes or significant missing parts of the cover. You can see those. So it's like, yeah, why mess up the label when you don't have to? I always liked it when they put them on the back. That was better. So then you have the nice label and then you get to read the little stuff on the back. They should put all the grader notes on the back, personally. That's my opinion. Like everything they have in their notes, just boop, 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 just put them on the back. So yeah, and so now you basically have to pay to see the grader notes. But what happens if you're buying it, you don't have the grader notes, the seller either does or does not have a membership and doesn't care to put up the grader notes? Now you don't know what's going on with the book. And you could potentially be buying this Fantasy 15, a 1.0, but it's actually missing a coupon inside. I mean, I'm assuming they're still going to, if it's missing wraps, they'll give it a green label and say 2 center wraps missing. Hopefully that stays. This one right here, is 1/3 of the last page missing, does not affect story, incomplete. That's a huge deal. So that's not going to say incomplete anymore. It won't say any of this unless they keep this as significant missing, like 1/3 of the last page. All you would see is maybe a green label. I hope they still give it a green label, not a blue label. A green label, 5.0. What does that mean? I don't know. You would have to get the notes, but what if you don't have the money? You don't have the membership. Now you have to pay $25 just to get notes on a single book to find out that it's the 1/3 of the last page is missing. Let's go. So now, also another thing, let's pretend this said, what was it called? Like, not centerfold, because they'll notate the centerfold missing. But what if it's just a 0.5 because a coupon's cut out? Now this is gone, and you just, why is it a 0.5? You have no idea. It could be missing a coupon, multiple pages. I don't know. Don't know anymore. That's the interesting thing. So what's going to go in? I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. I personally don't like it. I think it was just a way for them to get more money. I think they could do a better job by listing major defects. The ones you can see, I get it. You don't need to say 3-hole punch. Like, come on. Like, we can use our eyeballs and look at. But it's like when you're buying a book, especially an expensive book, and most of these notes will only apply to older comics because, like, there's no way like a brand new comic is missing pages and staples and detachments and full spine splits. That's not happening. But people are buying this, and CGC is certifying that this is what's wrong with it. I think it should list things that cannot be seen. That's my personal opinion. And I know they put it in the grader notes, but not everyone has access to it, and you're forcing people to buy their membership. So then now they have your email, they have all this kind of stuff. It's just a way for them, a cash grab. That's all it is. They used to make you pay to get grader notes. So this is actually a step up from that. I remember it was like $10 to $15 for grading notes, and they were different prices. Why? I don't know. One book would be $10, another book would be $15. What's the difference? It's going to the same database. It's pulling up a list of issues that are wrong with the comic. Why wouldn't one be more expensive than the other? It was terrible. So this is, trust me, this is leaps and bounds better than what we had in the past. So it's more of like CGC is doing 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But in the end, we're still a step forward. So is it really that bad? Because trust me, it wasn't too long ago that I was paying $10 a pop to get notes on books. So now it's $25 for the whole year. So as long as you grade at least 3 books, get the notes from, you're in the, and plus you get 10% off your grading stuff and things like that. So there's other benefits. So let me know what you think. Have a good day.